What the fuck? You're already on? Holy shit. Okay. What's up? I gotta fucking do anything about that site. I would not buy a watch from SovietWatchStore.com. I would pass on that. There is a site, a pretty famous site that there's a guy that runs it. I think he's in Germany or something. He gets tons of, perestroika era watches, and he might be good for it. I don't remember. I'll put it in the cord at some point. Fresh off a long day burning wood, cleaning up the yard. Added some based lighting. Actually, that's only there because I didn't have an extension cord for the laptop. Represent cord product. Can't get it anywhere else. Only on the SR cord. So yeah, this is my Power Strong Fantano shirt. Been button it all the way up. Shave my head. Good morning. Yeah, so I pulled a whole ton of shit to just blow through quickly. But I think, like, if I keep doing these, like, if the corona bullshit keeps happening, and I'll probably like just start doing like chart sweep stuff, like just talking about 1980 or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know. What is going on with my light, man? The light's all bad tonight. Getting annoying. No, we got destroyed on Fortnite. Tried. Got wiped out. We hit some really serious, like ninja level players. Took us out bad. Go through the RYM top 100. Can I beat up Paul Banks? Can anyone not beat up Paul? Like, who cares? Ill Super Chat 20. Yeah, I guess. So yeah, what did I pull? So somebody was asking. Oh wait, someone was asking. What was the other thing? Oh, Ted Leo. So yeah, because I was going on about citizens arrest, and somebody asked about Ted Leo, who I'm on record. I don't like anything the guy's ever done, but I actually do own one record. I own one Ted Leo partially Ted Leo record, which is, where the hell is it? I had pulled it, and now I can't find it. It's disorganized. Yeah, this, right? Yeah, so I have one record that Ted Leo's on, which is a split with Chisel and the OTS. So yeah, this is just back when Darla was just putting out, everybody was buying Darla stuff no matter what it was, or was on Darla, or at least distributed by Darla or Parasol. Like, they took over Indie and Twee completely around in the mid-90s. So I did pull that, and then I was basically just going to wrap up 7 and shit. And somebody was asking me about Azusa Plane, and it's weird because like Darla was awesome. Darla put out a lot of a couple of my records. I was on their stuff. Like, the guy running it was a super good guy, and yeah, they were really good for a while. Oh boy, now we got all kinds of problems. I mean, Darla's exceptional, right? Because you don't stick around. It's really uncommon that labels stick around for as long as they did and do as much as they did. And, there was like Little Darla Has a Treat for You. There was the Bliss Out series was really huge, did really well. That's where, that's pretty much that's where Winnie and Carl, anybody first heard of them, was that Antarctica CD, which was like a big, ambient CD at that time. Am I bringing back the grace period for the Corona loops? We'll see. I really like you would think most people who are having, job trouble, or for whom work from home is a novel thing, their life is really hectic. I've been work from home like forever. So for me, not a lot has changed, but I have extended family and stuff I got to help out. So I got a lot of drawdown on my time right now. But I do want to contribute something to our chord record. But yeah, somebody asked me about Azusa Plane, and it's like the cult of dead rock star thing is frustrating. But around that time, late 90s, 96, 97, like Aphex Twin and other things, like I told you, because the Saw 2, Selected Ambient Works Volume 2 was a big crossover record with like ravers, chill out people, stoners, whatever. Like the novelty of pure ambient music, it was novel, especially in America at that time. I mean, there was nobody like walking around like asking if you checked out Eric Satie or even Eno's stuff. Like it just, there was this lull because for a long time, Eno's ambient works had been indexed as new age. And so like you would even looking at Music for Airports or like Plateau of Mirror or The Pearl too, look at the album art. You would think it was like on fucking Windham Hill. So kids, like if you didn't have an education about music, like you didn't know, the 70s was dead. Nobody was talking about 70s shit. So, that window, my generation, kids around that time, I can only say like my experience of it was that there was a big gap. There was a huge gap in general music knowledge. And there was, as there often is, more focus on novelty, on what's happening right now. And that's the cyclic nature of this. Like there's the scenesters that want to find out what's going on now so they have something to do, or they're excited about it. I'm not being like negative or cynical about it. They're excited about what's going on now. They want to start their own bands and they want to do their own shit. So that takes up most of their time. And then it's like, well, you get records passed around among your scenester friends who've heard different things for different reasons, et cetera, et cetera. We didn't have the internet, so it's still pretty much record stores telling you what's what. And so your kind of nexus of information is limited by that. And that's why I did that whole video on Evie Sands, excuse me, on Evie Sands, was because all those record store clerks who had, helped me out and explained so much to me that I didn't know about. And, Azusa Plane blew up right about 97, 98. So I had talked about this a little bit. There was this infamous concert that happened, Twisted Village was involved in, and it kind of was a launching point for something a little more ethereal, as maybe we would put it, than post-rock had been to that point. Because, like Bark Psychosis and Mogwai and all the bands coming out of that mid-90s period, it was like, their music was like, to me anyway, and even Slint, their music was like slow punk. It was like slowed down, but still dark and still down and still moody or whatever. And there wasn't that shift into like pure ambience. Like it just didn't take off. So Jason with Azusa Plane was one of the first ones. And this, I had it wrapped up because I didn't want it to get fucked up. But Tico Magnetic Anomaly, this album, which was so beautifully packaged, and it was weird because I mean he was living out in Pennsylvania or whatever, but this was put out in Australia, and it's it's just a really crazy, wonderful package, and it's got his initial really heavy, strictly ambient kind of releases, and I don't know how any of these people fit together, whether it was school or year abroad or what happened. But this record got a lot of attention, I guess is my point. I mean, insofar as there can be a lot of attention on the indie scene, which was so much smaller than people realize or remember, he was talked about like right out of the gate, similar to like Wendy and Carl and stuff, as like this new, space rock thing that wasn't, so kind of dark or plotting or whatever in the way that I was describing Bobby and those other bands. But so the reason I say all that is, as soon as he got that attention, he tried to get a band together and it was like terrible. I mean, I didn't like anything they were doing. It was just like endless jam. It was like totally regressive to me, and I wasn't into that live record, and I kind of paused on him after that. But I'd gotten a bunch of the 7-inches, the split with Grumble Grumble, and the first one I had, you know, pretty much out of the gate. I have number 42 of it, Beyond the Infinite, or Beyond Infinite, and this also has Fuchsia or whatever, Fuchsia, I don't know, on the B side. They were also another big one. And I think back on this, I never liked the band Pram, but, you know, bands like Pram that were a little more esoteric, I think there was this other kind of avenue, let's say, that wasn't as, like if you were into punk or indie or whatever, post-rock was just going to be on your radar anyway. Stuff like Pram wasn't necessarily. It was a little bit ultra. And so for the kids who were into that kind of thing, like Stereolab is another nexus. I talked about them last night. Kids who were into that kind of thing, it went a different way, and the bands were different, and the attention was different. So those scenes kind of splintered a bit, and obviously he started to have like really serious, you know, medical issues. He had really debilitating tinnitus, and then after that, he started to get like hyperacusia. I forget how it's pronounced, but basically it's the thing of where like sound is like deafening, like crinkling paper it's like being shot at. It's so loud, and yeah, I guess he came down with that, and it's an infamously difficult thing because it's not well documented. It's not easily proven out by doctors. And he was repeatedly told that it was psychosomatic and, you know, all this other stuff. And that just compounded, you know, his issues. And, you know, obviously he killed himself. But yeah, I've got a few of the kind of earlier ones. I was really tracking him early, Last of the Famous Electronic Playboys. Yeah, I mean, this was stuff. I got this at Amoeba when I was visiting friends in San Francisco in 98. I don't remember. But yeah, he made some great stuff. I think he did have underlying issues, to be fair. Like I said, that whole live thing he went on, the whole like jam, deafening, smashing stuff trip, that had a lot of weird edge to it. But Rocket Girl did these compilations, which is like pretty much everything except for this. And this is my favorite record of his, the Tico Magnetic Anomaly. This is just all guitar, effects pedals, drone, ambient, and it's really beautiful. Like the tones are really, really good. And then there's been, you know, this stuff's on Spotify, so you can just check it out whenever. But I didn't pull anything from Arctica. That was another guy at that time I was so into his first few records. And then similarly, he started to like a lot of these artists that started with very basic kind of, you know, post Cocteau Twins, ground out, washy, you know, material. A lot of it, you know, sounds very much like The Moon and the Melodies, the record that Cocteau Twins did with Harold Budd, or, you know, their own, I'm forgetting, not, what the hell is it called? The album from '86 that's like a new age album the Cocteau Twins did that's so beautiful. It has like Love's, it has the song that someone mixed with Massive Attack in the late '90s as like a mashup. I can't believe I'm blanking on it, but that, anyway, Arctico was like initially very much trying to, Victoria Land, thank you, duh. He was trying to do that same kind of thing. And then, you know, you start networking and meeting other people who are active at that time, playing shows. You hear other people's stuff, and maybe their stuff is a little more bookish or intense. And then you hear about like Keith Fullerton Whitman, and he fell down the noodle trap, and he became really noodly, and I lost kind of interest in his stuff. But he also had hearing damage. I guess he had almost lost hearing in one of his ears, and so that necessarily impacted his creativity. We talked a couple of times online at some point, you know, in a kind of like a fan, hey, I like you, I'm at Pitchfork, what are you doing kind of way. And he seemed like a really cool guy, but I never met him. I really did love, though, he has an EP in a full length that's probably super hard to find now. But I bet, you know, go look on Bandcamp for him, for Arctico with a K. And and he had a website up at one point, and he kind of seemed to be fashioning himself as like a John Fahey figure. Yeah, Hrvatsky, that period. Oh God, you're going to get me on the path down to Fridge again. This is a weird one. There was this band on Matador for about 10 seconds called Run On. They're actually really neat. It's kind of like, Yola Tango, but more Velvet Underground-y, more minimal. A little spiritualized kind of vibe to it. And it's unlikely they're going to be remembered, but about 96, 97, they had a good full length and a good EP out. So that'd be something I'd definitely recommend, like, because again, this is stuff you can get for 10 cents on Discogs or wherever. I did pull a bunch of, this is sort of the last of the singles, and this was all stuff that we were talking about, the other night. I did have the 7-inch of Just Like Heaven 2, not just the etched 12-inch, and the 7-inch is not etched, but it actually has a way cooler sleeve. It's like fluorescent green, and it has the punch hole. But yeah, it's the same 3 tracks, Just Like Heaven, Throwdown, and Chunks. Throwdown's, that's one of the weaker Dino tracks there. And then, so I had like Centrado, Loser Core, Really Insane. And like the inside of these records is just Lou, like, going completely ridiculous with bullshit. Steve Shelley paid for this record, paid for him to press this record. So, and it's just Loser Core and Really Insane. So I think at that time, like there were other people, like Lou Barlow didn't like go live in a closet. Other bands were, like helping him out. Man, my allergies are so bad from burning all that wood today. Sorry, I keep touching my face. But yeah, I think other people were helping him out, because he was down in the mouth and feeling sorry for himself. But, the guy's putting out like the Gimme Indie Rock single, right? On the back of this is like a fucking dead guy hanging. Like, what the fuck, man? Shrimper Gang, what's up, Ernesto? Yeah, this was really good, though. This was a good, solid little EP. Red Riding Good was awesome. New King. And, of course, Gimme Indie Rock and Ride the Darker Wave. It was a big song. Gimme Indie Rock got played quite a bit on college radio for sure. Because it's record geek core, like who's not going to play a song called Gimme Indie Rock when Nirvana blows up? Everybody was. I didn't pull the records that this band did that I liked, because this 7-inch I actually didn't think was very good. But there was this band Edsel that a lot of us were really, really into in like 93 and 94. They had this for their first album was called The Everlasting Belt Company. And it's just a really good, rich, like sonically aligned record. The production is the same all throughout, but the songwriting and like the effects they use on the guitar vary a lot. And Shaster is good. Yeah, that's a great one. That wasn't my favorite, but that's like the pop song. It's the first or second song. It just has this killer funk, like Girls Against Boys style distorted guitar lick. And they had another record after this that was sort of okay. John Solomon, who runs My Pal God, loved them, and he reissued both of those. I want to say like 10 years ago or something, because they were long out of print. But this is actually on Jade Tree. So like Jade Tree was one of the biggest indies going in the 90s. I don't know how they were financed, but like they had really high quality shit going on, and a lot of it coming out. So they were kind of like taking. They had a big foothold for sure in indie with product, and that was back in the heyday of Mortem distribution. And then this was sort of where this, to me, in a lot of ways, was the last. Like this is where I kind of almost tapped out with Pavement. This has Strings in Nashville, which, I mean, it's so up my own ass, like the way I'm talking about it, but at the time, it felt like Strings in Nashville was almost like a funeral for Pavement, because you knew they were going to go do all this shit and go for it. Everyone understood, Gary was out, and they were going to go do, Weezer-y shit, and they did. And I mean, Rattle Battle Rush is a good little song. It's basically a Zeppelin song. It's which one is it? I mean, the writing, the songwriting was just, I think they lost it big time. I don't know, and I really didn't like what they went after it, but it is red vinyl, which is nice. Yeah, Dancing Days, exactly. And I still love Strings in Nashville. I think it's one of the prettiest indie songs like ever. And I mean, imagine being in college during the winter of like '94 when this came out, and listening to Strings in Nashville with like the sound of snow blowing around in the background. It was great. It was a great record. It was good for its time. And of course, it's Gold Sounds, which is their biggest hit by far. I mean, Gold Sounds was like an REM level hit. Everybody that heard it was copping it. Crooked Rain did pretty well. I mean, I don't know the numbers. I'd have to ask, go call Gerard. But I from how it felt at the time, Crooked Rain seemed way bigger, MTV bigger than Wowie ever was. Like, Cut Your Hair got played a fucking lot. Like, it did well. And then, yeah, Wowie was like, everybody knew it was coming, and a lot of the fans were kind of like washed with it. And I don't know if it picked them up a lot of new listeners. I just, at the time, I don't recall it really hitting that hard. But I was still there for this. I mean, this is pretty much Pacific Trim is recognized as the last great, I would say, release they did. Gangsters and Pranksters, Give It a Day, and then I Love Perth. But yeah, I mean, there was Give It a Day was such a good song. It's so funny. I think Crooked Rain it should be the one everyone remembers. It's by far it's the most like emotionally honest record. It's not like cute and bullshitty like Fight This Generation. All the fucking crap on Wowie sucked. CR is like a fucking great record. I mean, I hasten to say perfect, but because you got Hit the Plane Down. And then I had a whole bunch of fucking, Guided by Voices bullshit too. I definitely went through like a year, let's say, of buying Guided by Voices singles and shit. I didn't go crazy with it. But I definitely had my little GBV phase in there. This is a fucking classic, man. Oh no, it's not. This is terrible. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Alan Parsons Project, Eye in the Sky. Yes. With Psychobabble. This is what I was talking about. Ball of Confusion on Gordy Records. Temptations. Song is such a monster. So good. Don't really recommend the Love and Rockets cover of Ball of Confusion, but what was my stopping point for my GBV phase? I had checked out. I mean, Alien Lanes is like the one for me. I don't think B1000's that great. And I don't think that. I mean, what's a Mag Earwig and Isolation Drills are both kind of, I think, revered as relatively really consistent records or whatever. But I just think there's a lot of going through the motions kind of with them that I don't know. I mean, I think I liked a lot of songs on Isolation Drills, but they were always in some weird kind of scam or whatever. Do I still have the Ed and Arcadia Ego 7-inch? What was the decision to make it a teal pressing? I only have one copy of it left, actually. And yeah, it is a teal pressing. You're right. Why did we make it a teal pressing? Because colored vinyl has always been cool. It's super thick, too. And then this has the song Do You Believe in Vitamins, which is a sample of Jay's Heaven by Slowdive with the fucking drums from the Melvins Anaconda. I think it's so, I mean, dude, look, it's just so basic. You just, whatever, you'd hear something. I didn't actually sample Jay's Heaven. I should correct that. I sampled a tape that was recorded in someone's apartment while that was playing in the background. And then they were like recording something, and yeah, it was on a fucked up tape deck. So when it played back, it was a little bit sped up and like super distorted and had all kinds of background noise and shit. So, I mean, it's easily identifiable, but yeah, that's where that came from. And then Fuck Amen was just making fun of people only having like 5 beats to use, like 5 loops. And, you know, obviously the Amen break was just ridiculous. Like even at that stage, it's just so embarrassing that anyone would have used that. Yeah, I mean, at that time, the website was teleport.com/erock for audio drags, Eric. And I think he had like 4 records out. There was that. The first CD there was a CDR we did, and then there was this band, the Sensualists, out there in Portland that was doing pretty good that he got behind. Oh my God, I forgot. Holy shit. When I first started doing this in 97, Jack Saturn was hosting my website because I didn't have a website or I didn't know how to get one. So Jack Saturn was hosting like a record label website for me, and then my grace period bullshit. I haven't thought about that guy forever. Yeah, I was living on Beacon Street in Boston at that time. Shithole. Wow, that's funny. I haven't looked at this in forever. But yeah, I mean, God, I wonder what Jack Saturn's doing now. Can I still be reached at Grace? I would seriously doubt it. Can't be reached at any of the addresses on there either. Represent Boston. What the fuck's up? Maelstrom, baby. Megamorphosis. Song's fucking awesome. This was like the worst fucking funk metal shit that came out of Boston, but it's so good. If you haven't heard Megamorphosis by Maelstrom, the song fucking rules. It's hilarious. It's like, when was this? Was this 90? Do they even have the date on it? Why would they? It's Tang. Tang's putting their fucking fax and phone number on records at this time. That's great. Totally. Oh my God. I screwed so many bands. It's so ridiculous. Husk. Oh yeah, Engine Kid. This was just a post-rocky band or whatever, but the B-side, Husk, was a pretty good, post-rocky kind of song. This was a Trouble Man. This was the 8th Trouble Man release, Trouble Man 8. And they did pretty good for a while. That label was big at one point. Oh yeah, the Monad. M is the 13th letter, Monad split. That's this was a weird little basic like studio project. I don't want to say goof or whatever, but strange period for everyone involved. It's just Dave Pajo and Ray Rizzo was also in that session. And I'm not sure if Tara Jane O'Neill was involved in it in some way. But yeah, I don't remember what this is. I thought this was a solo project that Letitia Sadier did from Stereolab, but maybe it was the other woman in Stereolab. I'm not 100% sure. It's really pretty. It's a really well designed thing, but I don't remember the music being particularly substantial. And then I forgot to pull out this to me was like the last good Magnetic Field single, which was I Don't Believe You and When I'm Not Looking, You're Not There. This was a perfect little record. Like these two were classic, like holiday era, perfect songwriting. And I think after that is when 69 Love Songs came out. And I was just like, fuck this noise. Oh yeah, and then someone else was asking about Indian Ocean Nosedive. People don't remember, John Davis had a song on this, and Lou Barlow had a cover of Riding by Will Oldham on it. And there was also, who was the other? Jukebox Hero was on here with Salt. But yeah, this was the EP with Indian Ocean Nosedive after Swirlies had broken up, which is just like Damon and a guitar and a bunch of fucking noise. It's a really cute song though. I loved that song. I used to have it on like mixtapes when I would be you know, doing yard work and shit in the summers. I did pull a couple of tapes too. Like I was still buying tapes for a long time. I had a bunch of Shimmy Disc tapes, which is weird. I have Damon and Naomi's More Sad Hits and the Ruddles Highway Revisited tape with that awesome version of Cheese and Onions by Galaxy 500. I forget, there was what was the other good thing on this? It wasn't, I mean, Shimmy Disc was like not particularly consistent, but this was great because it had copper reflective print on it, which at the time I don't know how you could have got that done. But yeah, it was Galaxy. What was the other really good stuff? A lot of this was just bullshit that was like people dicking around. Like Penn Jillette is on this. Dog Bowl. Oh God. If you were, I mean, if you went to a show and Dog Bowl was on the flyer, you probably left before the headlining band. You were just so fucking annoyed. Unrest's thing on this is not really good. And who? Oh, Daniel Johnston, of course. You know, he's on here. Shonen Knife. And then, Paleface. Yeah, that's right. With a Girl Like You. But Bongwater was on here, of course, because, you know, that's his project, needs everything. Yeah, no, I know. It was just ridiculous. Just awful. You'd not want to go to any show they were playing. But, oh, yeah, and then we had to mourn the passing of someone else this year, which is pretty horrible. But, you know, I don't know. It sounded like it's a pretty awful, you know, long drawn out thing. But this is my original tape, man. I bought this in fucking 88 or whatever at like Strawberries. Look Sharp. Roxette, The Look. Fucking Stone classic. I don't know. Listen to Your Heart, man. Whew, that was some corny ballad shit. I was not into that, but obviously that song was a massive #1 hit. These are funny. I found these in a thing. Henry from Chunklet printed these up. This was one of his best jokes ever. I have a bunch of them. I don't know why, but I wrote for him, sent him some shit for Chunklet for a while, and then he got into the whole, you know, stand-up comedy world, which is a giant fucking black hole. I also found the Diamonds and Pearls with the holograph. Yeah, what's up on the cassette? That's how they used to do it. Yeah, Joyride's good too. Yeah, it's a good cut. Cult's Love. Classic. Come on. Nirvana, Big Neon Glitter. This record's so good. I mean, obviously it's got their biggest hit too, but Love rules. And then, yeah, Old Skull. You got to have Old Skull. You got to have Old Skulls Get Out of School. I Hate You, Ronald Reagan. Skate or Die. Kick Ass. I mean, someone did I know Sharpling and Worcester on The Best Show did a fucking spoof thing on this, which was kind of funny. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It was funny. It's probably one of their 20 or so best bits. But I think someone, I don't know if it was Noisy, because usually Noisy does this shit. Someone did actually find the guy or one of the guys and did like a big interview with him. I just have forgotten all about it, but this was on Restless Records too. That was funny. And I don't know if it was like their dad was a skater. I just forget the story, but oh man, Get on the Bus. So good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if people sell tapes on Amazon or eBay, but it's a hilarious fucking tape. Power, Corruption, and Lies. You know it. And then weirdly, this was made on tape. A lot of the Dinosaur Jr. and 7 and stuff, it's on tape. Oh, really? because they did CDs like Rock Rotten Rule. There are some Best Show compilations. This is a long time ago, but they did put out CDs of kind of like their best bits, and they're fucking awesome. I mean, their strongest stuff is completely hilarious top line comedy. I just don't like them. I just think John's really humorless, even though he's so fucking good and so funny on so many of his bits. I just think he's kind of stuck in his own version of things, and anybody who doesn't agree or who thinks it's all kind of bullshit is like, you know, a negative person. It's almost like the way Scientologists treat people that don't buy their fucking line of shit. And the other guy, you know, whatever. I just think they got full of shit. I think they got too big and they turned into like a sub-tier Howard Stern whack pack thing when fucking Kurt Vile got involved with it. And I just was like, fuck this shit. You guys fucking blew it so hard. You know, whatever. They're still doing what they do. They know all the people they know. Go be fucking giant internet famous, you know, oh, it's on The Simpsons. Who the fuck hasn't been on The Simpsons at this point? I don't know. I put this in a fucking parental advisory cover for like, I thought that was funny. But yeah, that's the Feel Good All Over K 83, 85 tape I had. So I'm surprised this doesn't have paint on it because I remember painting so many fucking houses to this tape. But whatever. It doesn't. Substance, you know it. Oh, and then I was talking about all the Warren DeFever shit I have, like just stupid bootlegs and ESP whatever shit. ESP Beatles, Time Stereo Live 96. This show I think is the really good one. If I remember, this one's really fucking awesome. It's basically like they play Stars on ESP straight through, and it's just really good. Oh, and then this is fucking great. So Ace of Hearts put this out, and it's Liars, A Promise is a Promise, and a full like 9-song set live in Europe that you literally can't get anywhere else. Like even during that whole Liars reissue period where they were putting out like everything, you can only get and it's not like it's the most important thing ever recorded, but I fucking loved it. Digital markets don't put it on album art anymore. Skylar's drooling over these innocent. Yeah, I'm sure there's not many people on tonight, so whatever. Maybe he'll catch up. But yeah, I was talking the other night too about the what you got to have, and this is I got the original sticker still on there, but yeah. Gotta have that. You gotta have that in your collection. There's just some records you gotta have, you know. Got the original sticker on that bad boy too. I mean, just, you know, absolute classics. You know, you need. Thoughts on the Glands? I don't think I know who the Glands are. The Glands? The Glands. I don't know. Maybe that one missed me. Got this weird ass one. This is actually, it's funny because it is on Apple, but you don't see it that often, weirdly, which is Let It Be. You know, Apple put it out themselves, and it's just a weird little comp. But you got like, you know, some pretty Athens band Glands. I'm not familiar with them. I mean, Love Tractor, the big ones, sure, but Shrewd Gilberto makes Ambient seem like shit in comparison, says dude with Aphex Twin avatar on Google account. Do I have the poster with the Schmilson LP? That I don't know. I would doubt it. I'm guessing that got used up. It's not mine. It was my sister's. Yeah, no. Do not have it. Dude, my kids are going fucking off. Cabin Fever. I do have, this is a great little version to have of Rumors because it's got the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences Album of the Year sticker. Yeah. This was Pretty much only the ladies putting in any effort in Fleetwood Mac, if you go by that picture. But yeah, it's great. This is so crazy. For $2, Warner Brothers will send a special 2 LP set over 20 top artists, each performing selections from their new albums. Send for it and let Limo take you on a ride with some of the biggest names in the business. Doobie Brothers, Fleetwood Mac, Alice Cooper, Little Feat, Rod Stewart, Van Morrison, and many more. To get your limo, just send in this coupon for $2. And so they had this, like, you know, that whole compilation promo thing, catalog artist promotion. They were tying everybody to that. This has like water stains and shit on it, probably like spilled beer, but you know, it's just the reprise Warner version. You don't appreciate science until you appreciate the math. Gotta take the kids beach gothing. It was like 43 degrees today, so no, we were burning wood in the backyard, and it will be like 38 tomorrow. Here's another one too. Like this obviously wasn't on Apple, but Beatles love songs is a fucking hilarious one to have. Big ass gatefold, like Paul at max Paul Dream Boat. I mean, woo. But yeah, this is a mega comp, and these things just all get forgotten because they get superseded by, you know, rock band mixes and Anthology 1 and Anthology 2. But this was like a thing because it's not. I remember it's so similar to Deja Vu, right? Like everything was like this leathery, you know, big anthology. It's like historic and it's like an Old West folio or something, and there were just a bunch of things like this at that time with like dude, my kids are going off. Thoughts on the Star Spangleds? It's almost 70. You gotta hide your love away. Classic. Yeah, oddly there are some classic Beatles songs. Silk Degrees, baby. The Boss. Gotta have some Boss gags, man. Come on. Fucking classic record. Can't mess with that. Signature. Yeah, the Analord cover was like that. Yeah, that's funny, actually. It's true. I've been posting a lot about my big man lately. I think more people should listen to Eddie Rabbitt. I think Eddie Rabbitt is he was a great fucking songwriter at this period of AM gold, country pop. You know, the guy wrote so much good stuff. And I mean, yeah, obviously he had big hits with some of it, but I love his look too. He's, you know, you can just tell this guy's, he's trying to get something going, you know. He doesn't have a ton on the ball, but he's putting it all out there. Yeah, he was huge. But again, it's like Buzz Skaggs or, you know, Eddie Rat. Like they're just, you don't have like the yacht rock. It's not easy to, you know, go retro and do like an Eddie Rabbitt. I mean, he was in like Grand Theft Auto and shit. I'm not suggesting the guy's like obscure, but I do think like it's been harder to keep him sort of alive. And like, and the same is true of Boz Skaggs, like, cause Mr. Show did, you know, a hilarious little 1 second joke in the skit where, I think it's the skit where David Cross plays like a tech bro and he tries to make them eat tofutti. And then they have like a little tiny throwaway gag where they're talking about like life around the office. And I think he has Boz Skaggs playing for him, just like in a corner. And it's Bob Odenkirk dressed up as Boz Skaggs. It's fucking great. I still haven't opened this because I could download it, but these were the Blake Babies did like a really cool, they did a DVD, like a big set, you know, thing. And I mean, obviously I was going to buy this. And yeah, so I mean, I've talked before about this, you know, whole thing. Juliana Hatfield grew up down the street from me and went to high school with my sister and all that shit. And so when you're seeing somebody that's in your sister's high school yearbook on MTV, it's super fucking weird. And, you know, I don't know her. What happened was, so there was that. And I wrote her some like, you know, little fan postcards when I was like 15 or something. And because like her PO box was on the Blake Babies records in Duxbury, and it's like 3 boxes next to my current box. because every time I go to get my mail, my PO box is here, and what used to be hers, because her family's left town, is right there, and it's printed on Earwig. But yeah, so she was cool enough to write me back and just be like, hey, cool, that's funny that someone in town, because no one in that town listened to the shit I did when I was a kid, and it's cool that you are, and whatever. But then the funny thing, full circle, and I've told this story, was out of college, the first thing I did was try to work at Fort Apache Studios for Gary Smith, her manager, because obviously I wanted to work in the music industry, and I had no fucking clue that doesn't pay shit and it's not possible. But I went and in 97 interned for Fort Apache for like 6 months or something, and he was managing her, and this was right when she was doing like the hunger strike shit for God's Foot, and it was just a super bad time, and like everyone was on tenterhook, and like nobody would, when she would come into the office, like everybody would just kind of like not say anything, because Gary would be like, all right guys, Juliana's coming in, just be cool. She had her dog, Payne, I think his name was like a big black lab. But yeah, I had to like run interference to keep Rivers Cuomo from talking to her at the Hatch show it was the Waterfront. It was a Radiohead show before OK Computer blew up. So the video I don't know why the fuck this got scheduled the way it did. Basically, when OK Computer came out, they totally fucked it up. They had them playing shows before they even had shit on MTV, and no one was fucking there. And it was like, what? And then, so they had this like false start early in that year in the spring, where they were playing these shows, and it was just the weirdest thing. They had the Bends died. It did nothing in America. Someone just wrote an article about that, or was regurgitating shit other people like me have explained to next generations who don't know, but the Bends did jack shit in America. Nothing on it got airplay. It fucking died horribly. They just failed to make any progress here. And then OK Computer came out, and no one even fucking gave a shit or thought about it. And then Discogs just did an article about the Bends. Good, you should go read it, because it's probably accurate. They've got enough information to go back and look at how the reviews were just like, what the fuck ever. So they were over here playing the show, and it was like a scene stir industry type crowd. And yeah, apparently Rivers Cuomo was like trying to get set up with Juliana Hatfield, and it was like, just keep distracting him so he doesn't get near her. That was my job that day. Then we had David Bowie playing in studio there, and Beck. And I have the letter, actually. I wish I knew I was going to talk about this. I have the letter from Fort Apache instructing everyone what is expected during the Beck performance. So Bowie comes in, literally shakes everyone's hand, including mine. Doesn't say anything to me. He just says, how you doing? Thanks for helping the show. I mean, he had no profile at this point. I think Earthling had done whatever it was going to do. It was like 97 or 8. I can't remember what he had going on. And it just, he wasn't, like, I liked Bowie fine, but it wasn't like Robert Smith for me was coming in and so I was sort of like, wow, this is a really big name, and I need to be on my game, and this is, simulcast with BCN and all this shit. And it was like Jesus Christ. Like, as soon as the lights went on, he grabbed the mic, and it was like, you never heard a human being fucking nail every note, and it wasn't even, it literally was like an alien. Like, it's just crazy that how far off the planet that guy is from everything else. Yeah, that's when it was. So, I mean, someone got the hookup to do that. And this was the series they were trying to do where they were doing live simulcasts of shows from the Fort Apache studios on BCN. I think it was BCN. It wouldn't have been FNX because Bowie's way too big for that. But then Beck came in. No one was allowed to look at Beck. Beck did not talk to anyone. No one was allowed to be in the building when Beck entered the building. He went into the green room. He never came out until the show. And he walked out. They had the set done up with hay bales. This was something around that album at that time. The set was on hay bales or whatever, and he walked out and didn't talk to anybody, did his set, acted like he was like super chill and down. He was like, how's everybody doing? Blah, blah. It's like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? No, who the fuck? Nobody's even talked to anybody. Like, what are you talking about? And he played like an acoustic set, and it just sucked, and everyone just sat there and tried to get, you know, some excitement. It was just like, no. They had this corny ass fucking DJ too. Ended up doing a serious, like, is there a lower fucking strata to fall to than a Sirius XM 80s show? Oh my god. He ended up doing that with Lori Majewski like 6 or 7 years ago. Oh, what a fucking cornball. He was such a douchebag. I remember Beck played one song with like a backing tape or half a band or something. And I just remember him like, I'll never forget this as long as I live. He was like, that was a fat jam. That was a fat jam, I think. And I mean, the entire, like, Gary was standing at the back of the room just smoking weed nonstop because it was already such a fucking train wreck. And god damn, it was the worst experience. So after that, I was like, I need a real job. This is not working. And yeah, holy shit. I just went down a real fucking weird tangent. But yeah, I pulled some really weird old shit. This December's Children, mono. And this was obviously in the basement during the whole water incident, but it still plays fine. Yeah, the London long playing, much bigger writing than December's Children, because you need to be aware this is a long playing record, because 33s were new, I think, in people's minds. I don't know why that says that so dramatically, but that explains why I hate Beck. Oh yeah, I hated Beck long before that. I hated Beck when Stereopathetic Soul Manure came out. So Best of John Mayall. This is that monster fucking trifold. So sick. Oh yeah. This is like absurd. This is the Best of John Mayall 2-album set, which is it's gonna fall apart if I keep fucking around with it, but that was a big ass Polydor push. The die cut Elvis Aloha from Hawaii, classic mom and dad record. So like, you could do something like this today. It's so great. It's just so awesome. And it's funny. People talk about how much weight Elvis gained and stuff, and how in the Vegas period, like, he was really in bad shape at this point. And you can kind of see that he's like stuffed into that thing, and they got the shoulder directional sequence to kind of flow the lines away from his midsection, all that. On the other, they didn't do as good a job, and it's fucking brutal. I mean, most people don't realize Elvis ever looked that fucking bad. And this is on his own album, which doesn't really speak very well of the damage control being done with this guy at that time. I mean, god damn. The human body can take a lot of fucking abuse. The funny thing is, so whoever, if you owned this, let's say you were a consumer who owned this, you would probably not opt to put that in the place it's supposed to be. So this is how the record actually looked. That was the featured picture of him on the cover of this album, and it is some sad stuff. But yeah, 2 LP set. It's the same printing on both the sleeves. Oh, poor Elvis. He's a good mama's boy. This is an interesting one. So if you think about how crazy the world used to be, RCA put this out. Let us entertain you. This is it's a sampler, okay, of a variety of RCA acts, right? This is RCA Music Service Sales. And so this is the record that RCA sales reps would be given to take to radio stations and it's totally bizarre. Jump Into the Fire's on here, and then like Jerry Reed, Alabama Wildman, Gene Austin, My Blue Heaven, Percy Faith, Beyond the Sea. And so this is how they used to talk about it. Total structured premium programs are our specialty. We'll help you choose the premium that's right, and we'll help you develop the program that will make your premium work best. We can do the whole job for you or work closely with you and your sales organization as advisors. Either way, you get an exclusive hard-hitting campaign that answers your requirements, zeroes in on the market you want to reach, gets the results you want. In our total structured programs, we offer total promotion concept, expert premium marketing counsel, media selection, guaranteed exclusivity, custom tailored premiums, target market research, special printing and packaging, premium personalization, reply servicing plus computer analysis, mailing and shipping services. It is the weirdest thing. And so, you know, they were trying to make like weird editions of shit and then sell them. Like, I don't know. It was just such a weird world. Do I have Having Fun on Stage with Elvis? I don't think I do. No, I don't have a ton of Elvis. Risque, comedian. Yeah, you know, this is likely to get reprinted and reissued anytime soon. What was the other good one I had in here? Oh yeah. Getting into the old ones. This is killer. Chess Records. Man, this thing weighs a fuck ton. But yeah. Dude, I don't know if my kids are going off. I probably gotta wrap it up. Oh, and this is the other Fahey record I didn't talk about last night, which is actually really cool. Fahey Visits Washington, D.C. There's two really interesting pieces on this. I don't remember which two they are. I think the discovery of Sylvia Scott is one of the really good ones, and then Melody McBad did pretty well. I think that ended up on his kind of his catalogs. But this has, I don't remember who wrote. I think Fahey wrote this, and it's literally like a novella of just like babble. I don't even know. But yeah. You played Washington D.C. on a radio show. Yeah, it's really well produced. The songwriting's not like his best, but it's super crisp. It sounds great. And then of course, you know. So the important thing about this is that it's a different version of Realize that has a ton of like guitar feedback on it, and it was only released on the German pressing of this record, and it's the only place you can get that version of Realize, as far as I know. I don't know if that Numero box set has it. Maybe it probably does, but I didn't buy that because I don't need it. And then I guess this would be interesting. I didn't talk about this. So this is a weird one. This is all over the fucking place. Like, I don't know if people are aware that this exists, but I don't know where this came out. I honestly don't know where this came out, where it was released, or who did it. Manufactured at place stated on record label. So fucking weird. Anyway, this was a 3 LP Smith set called How Soon Is Now, and it's not a bootleg. It's Strange Ways, Hatful of Hollow, and The Queen Is Dead, all in one record sleeve. And they're the actual rough trade pressings of these albums. I don't even know where I got this. It is so trash. Like, it's completely unplayable. I should probably just like polish and frame. Yeah, like, I don't know what they were trying to do. if they had stock they were trying to unload or what. Because like one of these says it was printed in Portugal, and yeah, but I don't know if I'd say it's good value with this fucking dog shit album cover and font, but yeah, it's not even, it's barely big enough to hold all three of the fucking records. And it's just like, what is this? It's just, you know, it's weird. They just stuffed all three of the albums in there, and that was that. But I do have somewhere in here, I've got it. Yeah. I mean, I don't even have Hatful, I don't think, on vinyl. I had it on tape, like, as a kid. But I did go back and get, I don't know why. This ended up in a Slabco sleeve. This was probably from Suck Patch, but I do have, like, you know, I mean, they're the American Sire releases, but I mean, these to me are, it's the art, it's, you know, the object of it that, you know, that's why I'd want them. Hatful is, you know, it's their best release to me, but I had it on tape, like I said, and I just never went back and got other Smith's vinyl. I would never get the first record because I don't even like it, but Hatful is just flawless. All right, I'm probably gonna shut it down. Not that exciting tonight. Not many people in it tonight, but you know, I don't know. Do what we do.